It's actually a little bit of an unconventional interview. I mean, we're a little bit early, as you know, to talk about the new album, Pilgrims, which I think is coming out in September 7th? Yeah. So I haven't heard it. I haven't gotten any teasers or any idea about it. The only thing that I sort of noticed from what you've said is that it's reflecting on tour life more, on like sort of the balance between touring and having a life, basically. I was curious to find out what made that inspiring to write an album about.
Basically, our schedules got more crazier. We played like almost 100 shows in 2016. I mean, it was mostly difficult for me because I'm not only the primary writer in the band, I'm also doing most of the logistics and merch stuff, social media, and the flights. So it was taking its toll like really heavily. And also, it all sort of culminated last year when I lost my dad and I had to move my mom with me in Kiev. So it was pretty, heavy and difficult through the old touring stuff because like literally weeks after my father passed, I had to be on tour again. So that also resulted in this sort of dark and really introspective kind of album. There were some shows that I didn't remember at all because I was just concentrated on, just keeping this whole thing together and not, I don't know, bursting in tears because I was so down because of the whole situation. And 2017 was tough. Yeah. And then when you're back home, you don't really understand, where is the real life. Is it over there in the van with the guys, just like, not having a shower for a couple of days, being constantly hungry, not getting enough sleep, but doing what you love to do? Or the real life, like here among those people, my friends who have like normal jobs and normal schedules, my relatives, my close ones, they also seeing this, how it messes with your head, with your schedule, with your like working hours, life hours, with your health basically. But I'm really happy that I got this out of my system. Mm-hmm. And now with the new songs, with the new guy, with the new level, with Napalm Records, with the whole word of mouth already going, with this little hype already bubbling for Pilgrims, I'm very, very looking forward. I'm very excited. And now I'm going to be singing this to hundreds of people, and it's going to be pretty weird, I guess. So,
yeah, they're all going to be like, we're part of the problem. It's all good. Yeah.
Woo, rejoice. Sing it to us. Yay.
I'm in the song. You were on tour while this happened?
The first day that we started our Spanish tour last spring, he had a stroke on this day, and he passed 6 weeks after that.
Okay. Yeah. And did you interrupt the tour and go back? And were you able
Actually, my father and my mom, they live in this Russian-occupied part of Ukraine that is currently in this state of, war that nobody cares about. And it's really, it's almost impossible to get there. And I haven't been home for 5 years. I haven't been at home for 5 years already because of this whole conflict that is going on there. And when this whole thing happened, I was just praying for my mom to keep it together and stay alive because I needed her here. And when this whole thing ended and I just bought her a ticket and she got through this whole borders, like this whole thing is like half legal because this is not Russia and this is not Ukraine and there is conflict going on. And I had to move her to Kiev, of course, because she shouldn't be there alone after all that happened. And yeah, like literally days after I got here to Kiev, I had to go on tour again. So that was basically my whole 2017 was like.
Wow, crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you weren't able to see your dad actually.
Yeah, yeah. The last time I saw him, it was last year in January when he also came visiting me through this whole half legal borders control thing and stuff. And we had a lot of fun. We had a great time because basically my dad influenced me and made me the person that is talking to you right now. Because he used to play guitar, and he taught me to play guitar. And the whole childhood, when I was a kid, house was always filled with music. You know, Beatles, Pink Floyd, Deep Purple, Uriah Heep, Rainbow, all this kind of stuff. Oh, he was a great influence on me. And when I started writing my own stuff, I was always looking up to him and always sharing with him. And I still have tons of cassettes from this time, because I think the first song that I wrote, I was something like 11, 12 or something, and I was basically just emulating the music that I was listening to. So my first 10 songs are like pure Kurt Cobain worship.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do some Metallica impression or something.
Yeah.
Then I got psychedelic because I discovered, you know, Sabbath and Doors and stuff like that. And then it got more eclectic because I was into prog rock by then. Like, you know, I'm sitting in a camel t-shirt. Yeah. So, yeah. And when he was visiting me, of course I didn't know it's going to be the last time, but it was the last time. And we were just sitting at my place and listening to Beatles vinyls. And he was sharing some memories, you know, from 60s when he himself was a kid and he just heard him. And this music was so magical to him and so inspiring. My favorite Beatle, and he turned 76 recently. Every album is very personal affair, and this is something that I was going through with Pilgrims, because prior to that, I wasn't so personal with my lyrics, you know, in music. It was basically some reflections of stuff that was happening, or it was some topic that I wanted to reflect on. But Pilgrims is the most personal stuff that I wrote so far.
Do you think that was naturally hard for you though?
I think that for some reason you feel like you shouldn't share, like, you know, because there are not much people that really into your band, or they don't really know who you are. They basically listening to you because of some sound, you know.
Yeah, some idea that they have as well.
Yeah, they just like want to hear some slow jams with some heavy guitars that remind them of Sabbath.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And with Pilgrims it was very different, because I finally decided that this record should be and could be more personal, and also the way of writing changed, because before that I was basically just singing some gibberish, you know, and then just coming home and writing a lyric. And with Pilgrims, I changed the scheme a bit. I was singing something, and then I was writing lyrics based on what I sang, you know. Because if I'm singing right now in this part, there is no point in writing for this part later, because I'm getting used to sing here, like, you know. If I should give an example. And some lyrics don't really make sense on Pilgrims in terms of the story. This is something that I also was struggling with, because the lyrics, it's not about the story, it's about the state that you want to describe. It's about the idea that you want to describe. It's sometimes about the feeling that you want to pass on to the listener, you know? Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest influences for me in that matter were Deftones. because lyrics, Deftones sometimes don't really make sense in terms of the story or plot, you know, but they really evoking the feeling. Like when you listening to the song and when you're hearing those words, you know what the guy, you know what guy means.
Yeah,
basically.
you know what he's feeling. It's a little bit
Yeah.
like Tool as well. Tool has the same thing, where you sort of like, or A Perfect Circle or whatever, where you just sort of, you just get the feeling and the ambience, and it really takes you quite deep, even though it doesn't necessarily describe a story from A, B to C. So
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
sometimes really vowels matter and the way that they interact with one another. And this is something that I've never done before. You know, my like almost 20 years of writing songs, you know,
Yeah.
and it's so fresh and so challenging. So I'm really looking forward to expand on this experience and really challenge myself even deeper with Heat album.
you are a little bit of a musical sort of, how do you say that, centipede. So did you feel like, no, I'm gonna just like zone in on Stone Jesus because that's the project that I want to be focusing on?
Stone Jesus is basically my only priority right now. I'm not doing anything else, nor music, neither music-wise nor like in my life.
Yeah.
I don't really have a, you know, like a family or girlfriend or something. The circle of my friends is mostly from people that I play with, that I doing music with. It's definitely conscious because I, for one, think that if you're not giving your 100% to something, that you're not gonna succeed. It's also something that I don't really regret and don't really feel, because like there was a good example when I was a kid and they were examining my sight, and I have really bad eyesight. Like this eye is almost, you know. And they told me that this is pretty bad. I'm not gonna be serving in the army, and I'm not gonna drive ever. I'm not gonna have a car. And I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna have a car. I'm never gonna spend money on gas, you know, like on fixing my car. I'm never gonna have a car accident that I would be involved actively, you know, like I'm not a driver.
Right.
So it's something that you're just crossing out of your life. You're like, okay, I'm not gonna have this. And you're not regretting this because you're just not experiencing it. And with the new drummer, Dima, I think we broaden our means and broaden our palette.
Yeah.
I think we can do a lot of things right now. And some of my ideas that I had 5 years ago that I couldn't throw into some other project, I think I can throw this right now in Stone Jesus. And Stone Jesus, we have less and less limits, less and less things that we saying to ourselves like, oh, we shouldn't do that. No, these days we basically say we should do this, we should experiment, we should try something new. So I'm really, really looking forward to next record, actually.
Yeah, cool.
We haven't started the new tour yet, but I'm already like fired up, and I'm really thinking, where could we go? Where should we go? How should we experiment next? Because, you know, each and every record from us is different from the previous ones. For people who like not really following us and they listen one album after another, they sometimes don't believe that this is the same band. And I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen with the Pilgrims, with the fourth album as well.
Yeah.
There will be many people who'd be like, what? This is not Stone Jesus that I like. But on the other side, I'm pretty sure there are gonna be even more people who'd be like, whoa, what's that?